Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday morning team call for Menifee, Vetter, Nolan Agencies. Glad you're all on the call this morning. We're running a couple of minutes behind here from a owner's call we were on, but glad to have everybody on here. So exciting stuff today. And as usual, we'll get started out with the leaderboards. Another solid week, top 10 for the week. We had Jonathan Derrimer, 3 applications, $1,040. We had Jim Gerling, 1 application, $1,191. And actually, let me back up here because I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Jonathan Derrimer, direct to John Paul Vetter. Jim Gerling, direct to Jeremiah Nolan. Number 8, we had Dale Menifee, 2 applications, $1,679, direct to myself. Number 7, Danielle Big, 2 applications, $2,354, direct to Brett Applin. We had number 6, Mr. Spencer Cushion, 2 applications, $2,587, direct to myself. Number 5, John Nicholas, 1 application, $2,629, direct to Brett Applin. Number 4, Miss Stella Dinwiddie, 3 applications, $3,411, direct to myself, doing that while moving this week. So congratulations for keeping up the activity, Stella. No excuses. Awesome. Number 3, Miss Julia Pappas, 4 applications, $4,841, direct to myself. Congratulations, Julia. Number 2, Mr. John Paul Vetter, 4 applications, $5,439, direct to myself. And the number 1 writer for the week, man himself, Mr. Jeremiah Nolan, number 1 in app count and APV, 6 applications, $6,947, direct to myself, and number 1 on the leaderboard, leading from the front. Congratulations, Mr. Jeremiah. Thank you for the awesome week and showing the way. And guys, we have a special guest on again today. We're going to bring her on here in just a few minutes. I'm going to give her a little bit more time this morning, and so have her share a little bit about John Hancock. But before we get to that, and actually what she's talking about in her company and the product that they have available is going to tie into what I wanted to share just briefly with you this morning. One of the things that we're trying as a company as a whole, Symmetry as a whole, is trying to change our culture a little bit from being a lead junkie culture, meaning that as agents, all we do is go buy leads, run those leads, sell those leads. And guys, it is a wonderful asset to have. I can't tell you, having worked with other companies that don't have leads, how valuable a resource this is. Now, that being said, it is designed and should be for your business a supplement, not your only business. And so what we've seen, and this is company-wide, and the owners of the company have been very upfront, very transparent about the fact that they established by mistake a lead junkie culture day one, and that worked as a small and fast-growing company where they could generate more leads than they had agents. But mathematically speaking, at some point, if you're going to really grow and build a massive company, you're going to have to get outside of leads. And we should have from day one. I mean, and again, the company is, the owners are very, they realize their mistake, and they've mentioned it several times, and they're obviously working very hard to change direction. Now, for those of you who are brand new and you got on, you're excited about the possibility of leads, guys, leads are still there, and they will be there, and we're going to continue developing new lead sources, continuing growing the lead sources that we already have in place, and the numbers continue to grow. So that will always be there as a resource. I don't want anybody to panic and think, oh gosh, we're going to lose that, that valuable tool. But keep in mind, as this company grows, just mathematics, guys, we grow so fast that we get to a point where you can outgrow what you're able to produce in leads as a company. In other words, we can't give every single agent in the company 10 to 20 leads every week. And you don't want to. You don't want to be at a position as a company where you're having to do all the work for your agents. this resource, our leads, is a supplement to your business. It is not your business. And as you start out, you know, and a lot of times we start out buying leads and that's all we're running right out of the gate. You know, what I see too many times is we're going out and selling those leads. That's great, but we're not generating referrals. We're not generating multiple applications. We're not looking for other sales opportunities tied to those leads. And guys, it's just a reality of business. You're either going to have to adapt or this business will pull away from you. Okay. So the beautiful thing is, again, the company has recognized this and have put and are putting a lot of programs in place, guys, that we're already seeing are generating referrals for us and for the people who are tapping into it. Now, my challenge to you this morning is you need to get on the train now, not wait for the day that, you know, we're at a point where we're trying to generate leads for 30,000 agents and there's just not enough to go around. And at that point, it's going to go to the performers. And, you know, so there will be some people that, you know, just don't get as much because their numbers aren't high enough to justify that. Now, again, that's down the road. We're not at that place right now. So if you're brand new and you're freaked out a little bit because you're afraid that, you know, there's not going to be leads for you, there are right now. But this is the point of this is we need to establish patterns as an agency, as a business, where the lead system is a supplement to your business. It is not the foundation of your business. And guys, it just makes sense from a financial standpoint. Why would you spend $300 to $500 a week every week from now until eternity buying leads when you can do that in the beginning? Use that to establish a basic clientele and then leverage that to start expanding that out into other sources of leads and revenue. Okay, because as we develop that basic clientele, we have all these phenomenal programs that are designed to help generate additional sales. So if you go into a house on a lead and you write one application on that lead, and that's it, and that's what you do on all your appointments, you're missing the boat. You know, there can be some houses where the budget's so tight, all we can get is one app. But most houses, we should be writing 2 to 3 applications minimum. And you can see the top performers on this team do that on a regular basis. The guys on the top of the leaderboards, they are getting multiple applications in every home. Okay. But here's the thing, we have got the tools and the resources in place today that somebody could walk in with 0 leads and go out and generate business. Okay. If you're in an area where, you know, we don't have the GMRs ramped up yet where they're starting to generate leads, or maybe it's a pretty high competitive area and there are a lot of agents, guys, you can generate leads with the tools that the company has rolled out just in the last 6 months. So EverPlans, you know, that is a program that you can give away to clients for free. Well, how hard is it to sell free? I mean, we can sell free all day long. You can walk up and down the street selling free. Now, obviously, ultimately, what we want to leverage free into is uncovering more opportunities for business. But, you know, that's some of the best businesses in the world give something away to establish that relationship and eventually earn and win a client and find other opportunities for business. So guys, tap into EverPlans. The training for this is on the corporate website. So if you go into Signature University, log in. If you haven't created a login, which you all had to have created a login, you know, when you got set up. If you forgot your login, make sure you get in there, get that password reset. Go through that training and understand what EverPlans is and what it can do for your business. Okay. It is just a phenomenal resource. Care to Share. Now, you know, there's still some things that they're working out on Care to Share, and so it is still it's still a work in progress, but it is quickly getting ramped up to the point where it's going to be a very powerful tool. Guys, Care to Share is a program that rewards your clients for giving you referrals. They actually get monetary rewards in the form of gift cards and you know, restaurant cards. I don't even know, you know, I have to confess, I'm still working through some of those stuff myself. But they, you know, again, this is something that you can give to your clients, and in just for them giving you referrals of people who quite honestly need this stuff. Anyway, debt-free life. Guys, this program has been phenomenal. This is literally a program where you could go door to door, knocking on doors and pick up clients. And we know this. In fact, I'll have here in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to talk to Scott Mank and have him on our call and talk about a little experiment that he did with debt-free life and door knocking, and the percentages of response and how high that was. And, you know, this is a program, and there's a little bit of investment to this one. I mean, you got to get down to Florida for the training. You've got to invest a little bit in the software. But guys, this is something, instead of spending money on leads, if you spend it on going to the debt-free life training and get signed up for that program, you can literally generate leads all day, every day.
Hey, Chris.
We all know somebody who's in debt and wants to be out of debt. And we do have a training coming up in November. They just announced this week. Debt-free life is actually going to be training at the leadership conference coming up in November. So, you know, I hope everybody who's interested in building an agency or business gets to that training, or gets to that event in November 6th and 7th. But stay over a day and go to the all-day training on the 8th and knock it all out at one time. Get that debt-free life training, because you can generate a lot of referrals from that. And, you know, kind of wrap up this kind of conversation or round out, we actually have again on this morning from John Hancock, Audrey, and she's going to be talking a little bit about some more about the programs that they have available. And guys, what I see with John Hancock and what we've already noticed is, number one, it's a very simple program to write and offer. But with the incentives that they have attached to this program, this is a program that you could literally walk up to people, and she may touch on that some this morning. I don't want to take the program away from you, Audrey. I'm getting ready to unmute your line, but you know, this is a program where literally, you know, there are some marketing opportunities around that Apple Watch or the free Fitbit or some of the other incentives that people have for having these policies, and some of the rewards that they can get back. So, Audrey, hopefully I left you a little bit extra time today to kind of cover some more of the program and answer some questions. And yeah, we got you on. Welcome back to the call.
Well, thank you. Let me see if I can get myself sharing here on the screen. Let's see here. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Not yet.
I'm working on it here. Let's see. Let me see if I can work this out here. Sorry, guys. You know.
You're fine.
I think I do. Share. There we go. And I'm going to do this one. And then I think I'm good. All right. I think I might be sharing now. Are we good now?
I'm not seeing it. I need to make co-host.
Well, I hit.
I'm going to make you co-host and see if that doesn't change it, Audrey.
Oh.
Let's see if that doesn't.
Sweet. All right, cool. And I think, let's see here. It might. Let's see, share.
There we go. Looks like something's happening.
All right. Woo! We made it. All right. All the technical glitches out of the way. Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on the third week in a row. Practically part of the team now. Feel like I'm in the family. So thank you again for letting me bust into this and talk to you guys. I know that it's a lot to go over, but like you said, I think you hit on really, really good points with kind of helping build your base of clients and help making these referrals work for you so that you're not having to spend and invest more money on your end, there's just a lot of really neat and interesting ways that you can start with something as simple as an Apple Watch ad and then turn that into conversations that, selling them permanent insurance, even if it's not with John Hancock, but just building that and then having those referrals and conversations work for you. And that's actually a lot of what we're going to go through today. It's just really, it plays really nicely into what we're going to talk about. So hopefully you'll be able to kind of walk away with some really fun ideas and be all excited. I did want to touch on a couple of topics. If there was anybody who didn't get their questions answered, I followed up with a few of you after the fact last week. If there's anything you didn't get answered, I think I'm waiting to hear back a couple things. I did want to touch on a point that Jeremiah had brought up, which was that my slides, like the e-app pages, looked a little bit differently. I checked in to see if there was any kind of a URL change. There was a URL change, but it was quite a while ago, but it didn't change the mechanics of what the e-app looked like. So Jeremiah, I think I sent you an email. If you want to follow up with me after the fact so we can also touch on any issues you had with your client, I would love to try to sort all that out. So I have some folks, I briefed them on it, just kind of want to get a few more details from you if you don't mind so that we can make sure we get all that resolved. But, and I do want to be really clear also that that's kind of one of the really nice things that I like to work with people about and let them know is, you have a whole team of people who sit with me every Friday and we talk about everything that you are saying. So it's not people way up at the top who aren't really selling the product or don't know what you're going through. They're listening to the issues that you are having, the issues that make it you not able to sell the product and working to change all those things. So this relationship and your voice is extremely, extremely important. It is being listened to. So, I am never, ever going to be upset or offended if there's something that you guys can't work with. I want to know what those things are. Let me know. I will actually actively work to help get those things changed for you. So you have a partner in here, guys. I actually had an agent that I talked to yesterday in another group that in his recruiting seminars, he's really using the name recognition of John Hancock in some of those recruiting seminars is just like a third-party validation to say, you're working with an agency who has a product that was developed in partnership with us. So, I don't know if any of that would be useful, but it was just a really nice take, and I hadn't heard that from some other groups. So even on the recruiting standpoint, it's a true story that this product was developed in partnership with Symmetry agents and with you, and it's something that you can hopefully use to build out your team. So, okay, let's dive in. I think I actually had a couple questions. Let me see if there were any more. Oh, okay, Jeremiah, let me double check. I see that you didn't see the email. So my emails are coming from this Audrey at Agent Education Center. I've had a couple people where it's gone to spam, or junk or whatever it is. So double check there, but I will, I'll shoot you another one and make sure that I had the right email. So no problem. I'm on it, bud, or I'll just give you a call. Either one. We'll get it all worked out, but thank you. Okay, so this one's going to be fun. This is going to be over vitality. What we're going to start in on today is the same kind of concept of what we did last week, which is just breaking down a product that has a lot going on and simplifying into something that you can easily explain to the client, kind of go through kind of the reasons why you want the vitality clients, resources you can use, and we'll actually break down through the most important, not important, but popular, I guess, features of the Vitality program, which are going to be the cashback feature, the Apple Watch program, the fitness devices, the rewards they get. So not going to touch on every single discount because you don't need to know all that stuff. You really don't. The stuff that you really need to know is what we're going to cover today. And then with that, jumping into client opportunities, everybody has kind of tagged onto the gym concept, which is a great concept, but this section will kind of cover how we expand on that, and then people who are outside of that box that will not have to change their behavior whatsoever to benefit the highest. And then kind of the last part is, like we wrapped up last week, taking some of that and it's like, okay, let's make this into a sales concept. How do I position this with what I'm already doing? So fun stuff. And if anybody, so I just have a really quick recap of what the product basics were for anybody who is here today that may not have been here last week. I won't go into this a ton, but you know, you saw the 10, 15, 20. We know that 25 to 250, 20 to 60 on ages. You guys get paid Tuesdays if everything's in on the following or previous Friday by 7:30 p.m. That's the cutoff Eastern time. And then instant decision process and issue. You guys can definitely share, feel free to share that video from last week with any new agents as they get contracted, and it'll make it really easy. Or if you have a group of new agents and just want to reach out to me, we can go through that process with them once they're ready to go. I am more than happy to do these presentations and with anybody whenever your team members get popped in. And then it currently has the accelerated death benefit for terminal illness, like we talked about, and you can get a 75% advance on policies written on you or your family if you didn't know that already. And throughout all of these pages, there is the tools you'll need, which is the bottom left-hand corner has the simple term quotes. That's my favorite quoting site. It is has those cashback tiers. It's just a nicer presentation, I think, than the Jade Simple Term, which is the main microsite. It just looks a little nicer. It tells the story about vitality that really kind of matters, especially on this webinar. So that one will give you the annual premium, how much cash back they could get. So it just incentivizes them more and more to use the vitality program once they get signed up. But we will go through all that right now. Okay. And so just to recap on some of the upcoming changes that you guys will know about, we already talked about the E&O requirement being lifted. This will be referenced a little bit more, but the Fitbit Inspire is the new free option that they get when they first sign up for Vitality. The Alta is on the current language of marketing materials. Those are all being revamped, including the Apple Watch 5, which is listed down in the Q4 updates. Today is actually the launch day for Apple to put the Apple Watch 5 out and start fulfilling orders and things like that. So we are waiting at the moment to hear when we're going to have our hands on those, and they'll be able to start filling them out. There is an update in the Vitality website just saying there's more to come. We're waiting on Apple for a few details, but again, to my knowledge, the pricing is exactly the same. So we're not looking at any kind of program changes that I'm aware of. Just going to be the newer version. So yeah, we know that 25-30 are coming, full return of premium, accidental death benefit, and we're working on flexibility to the payment date updates, daily commissions, and agent portal in the next year. So keep me posted if there's any other things y'all are needing. We're listening. Okay, so jumping in. This is what you need to know, and I tried to simplify what Vitality is so that you can easily explain to a client. So I call it a technology-based living benefit program. It's embedded into the Simple Term product, and it helps your client by rewarding, incentivizing a healthy lifestyle, and also offering these complimentary rewards and discounts and memberships and all kinds of fun things. But I really like to touch on the fact that it is another type of living benefit. And it's one that really, like I said, prolongs their life and works on making it so they don't have to use some of those other things like the chronic illness riders and such. So that's really the point, and it does that through rewards. So giving them cash back on an annual basis, they get a technology device, whether it's the Apple Watch program that they jump into, or if they just want to use the free Fitbit, they're going to be using that to track their activity, get more points, and just incentivize and reward them. They get gift cards to Amazon, Starbucks. Fandango isn't listed here, but that's another one that they can do if they like movies, iTunes, CVS. And then they also get $600 a year off of healthy food purchases. There's a couple different ways. I don't go into that a ton here, but just for your knowledge, you can do that through Walmart, which is they'll get like a little loyalty card issued when they sign up, or they can use their current loyalty cards at one of the participating grocery stores. It varies depending on where you're at. I can always send you guys the link so that you'd be able to look at the grocery stores there. But like where I'm at, I live in Kansas City. So Kroger and Dillon's and all of that group they're all part of it. Publix. I mean, it's going to be variable depending on where you live, because regional grocery stores there's not very many national chains, but there's quite a few, and I can send you those if that was a question that came up. And then they also get 25% off of hotels.com, and they get a Headspace subscription to, if that is something they would be interested in. That is a meditation app. So, that some people aren't into that, that's cool, but it's one I like to mention because, all those benefits of healthy mind, healthy living, it all plays together. So what all that really means is from a pitch standpoint, you can really consider vitality as you would another living benefit. So this is just one that sort of takes that term living concept really to heart by helping do behaviors that are going to prolong their life. So the other thing I like to touch on is, does the client have to use that? No, they don't. It's totally optional. The level of participation that they have, that's also optional. There are people who just engage in it kind of intermittently, or they just wear the Fitbit and don't do things like submitting their BMI, or don't submit their flu shot, which is all done through the app or the website. That's okay. They don't have to. That is all going to be variable, and it's totally their choice. They'll have a good product, even if they choose not to use the Vitality Rider to its full benefit. But this is actually a screenshot of what the point planner looks like within the application. This will be in the app as well, and it tells them all the different ways that they can earn points, and it breaks it down really nicely. But let's talk about why they actually do want it. So vitality status, we're going to talk about the cashback program. You've probably heard that status in a lot of the other presentations or materials. So all that means is that clients, or if you have a policy, you're earning all these points, and you're earning them through exercise and steps, for buying those healthy foods, for going to the doctor, all kinds of stuff. They use those points, and they equate to your vitality status. You start out at bronze when you first get the policy, and we'll hit that every year on your renewal date, start out at 0. And then this works towards, as you earn them, the more you earn, you can kind of see the tiers. 3,500 earns you silver, 7,000 and up to 10 for platinum. That will help you earn up through those different statuses, all these activities that you're doing. These all work towards your cashback payout. So they will earn points just through, their steps, using the fitness device, all of that, all on their own without them doing a single thing. But like I said, in the app or the website, they can actually upload their vitals to show what their blood pressure is, a receipt showing that they went and got their flu shot, something showing that they went to the dentist. I had people ask, how do I do that? You can do a screenshot. You can take a picture of something when you're at the doctor's office, and then there's a little submit button inside of the app and on the website. So super, super easy. They can do it in a multitude of ways. So I'm sure that at one point there's going to be some kind of integration with the different health apps, and you can just submit it directly from your doctor's office. Not quite there technology-wise yet, but there's a lot of different ways, and it's really easy for them to submit that. So once they hit that platinum status, let's say they hit it at 10,000 points, they get 15% back. These tiers of silver, gold, and platinum are 5, 10, and 15% cash back. So whichever one they're at the end of the year, that determines how much payout they're going to get. Deposits right back into, they don't get a check in the mail or anything. It goes directly onto whichever payment method they're using. So if they are going to be on, let's say, credit card, it actually will deposit as a credit onto that credit card too, or their bank account, whichever one they're using. And then on that anniversary date, boom, resets back to 0, and then they start in on the goal. And there's no really complicated math to do. When they open their app, it tells them exactly how many points and what level they're at for the year. We actually have an agent who is, he's like a Vitality evangelist. He's a big time Vitality fan, and he schedules every year all of his doctor visits, all of his dentist visits, everything around his renewal date. And he hit platinum status within 2 weeks, which is 10,000 points. So, I mean, it doesn't matter when you hit it. He had 2 weeks and he knew he was going to get his cash back in the rest of the year. He's still, you know, that's just for cash back alone. He's still going to get all of his rewards throughout the year for, you know, gift cards and things like that, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, like I said, oh, whoops, I didn't even have my little slide up here. So yeah, resets on the annual renewal date and you're good to go. Super, super simple. Okay. So the other big kind of talking point in all of this is like, how's the activity tracked? And you're going to be generating leads based off of fitness devices alone. So I broke down sort of the 2 roads that the devices go down to make it a little less complicated. So when I'm talking about these fitness devices, I want to make it extremely clear that this is a totally optional part for the client. For a lot of folks, this is why they got the policy to begin with. So when the client goes in, signs up for the Vitality account, they have to do their health review, and then they get to choose what type of device they want. There are 2 roads they can take. One is the Fitbit Inspire road, which is the free device, or they can enter the Apple Watch program. Now, this one's going to cover just the Fitbit route. They choose the Inspire HR for no cost whatsoever, totally free. And if they want something fancier, like the Garmin, let's say if they like to run marathons a lot, that's a big one. Or if they wanted one of the Polars, or if they just wanted one of the really nice Fitbit, really, really upgraded models, they can buy those in this like Vitality Mall. This is an actual picture of what that looks like here. And they will get a discount off of Garmin's and Fitbits, 25% off. You can kind of see what their cost is here. And they get 40% off of Polar and all of those accessories. Now, they will pay those if they choose a Garmin or a Polar or a Fitbit. Yeah, they'll get those and they're there to keep outright. They pay in a lump sum. It's theirs forever, just like if they were buying from a store. That discount is given just by being a Vitality member. And if they buy one of these upgraded devices, they're getting that Fitbit Inspire anyway. So if they go the Fitbit route, they're going to go get that regardless. These discounts on these upgraded devices are just a perk of being in the program. And it's totally unlimited on how many they can buy of these different devices. And that's true regardless of if they're on the Apple Watch program or if they're choosing the Fitbit road. So this is really just a benefit just by being in the program at all. So, I mean, if you decided you wanted to, like I say, tell people if you wanted Christmas this year, jump in and buy, be like the Oprah of fitness devices and say like, you get a Fitbit, you get a Fitbit, you get a Garmin, you get a Garmin. You can do whatever you want. You can buy as many as you want for as many people as you want. And that is just, you're going to get that Fitbit Inspire regardless. Let's see here. I'm getting, you cannot purchase, Julia, can't purchase 5 Apple Watches. So the discounted ones are only on the Garmins and the Fitbits and the Polars. So dang it, I wish. But there is actually some good news on the Apple Watch program. So you'll actually really like this one. So the next part is going through the Apple Watch program because this one's going to be the big one, right? So what you're going to end up doing if you decide to go the the Apple Watch route, this is how it works. They're going to have an initial payment of $25 plus tax that they will use to enter in and say, I want the Apple Watch, whether it is the Series 3, Series 4, or Series 5, which is about to come out. So when that happens, they are entering into a payment agreement with Vitality. And all that is saying is, if I do nothing, if I don't walk at all, if I don't do any steps, then I am going to pay a maximum of $15.50 on the Series 4 per month for 24 months. And if you do the math on that, if you take the Apple Watch cost of it's $399, you deduct the $25 and then divide the rest by 23 months or whatever, it comes out exactly to that $15.50. So they're not paying any more, not paying any less. So there's nothing there. But if it's Then they have throughout the month, 30 days each month, to earn enough points to either discount or completely offset the cost of that $15.50. And they can do that only through activity. So it isn't like what we saw in the cashback program where they were able to use their flu shots to get points. Doesn't work like that on the Apple Watch program. It's through activity only. Now, want to make it extremely clear that we're not talking about like super advanced workouts. You don't have to go and check out at a gym. You totally can, that counts. But, taking a walk, you can see like taking steps, and it's personalized or calories burned. I will say also that depending on their age, this changes. So what is considered a standard workout for a 25-year-old is not going to be the same as what it's going to be for a 55-year-old. So it's adaptive to what those workouts are, which is really nice. So, like I tell people, go play Pokemon Go walk your dog, ride a bike. Take a walk after dinner, whatever it is. Those will count as standard workouts. They'll count towards points. And then just like a cell phone plan, when you have minutes, it resets on your payment date and you'll move on to the next month. So I've had agents, tell me I barely have to breathe and I've never had to pay a premium on my policy. And, it's not these intensive, crazy workouts that they have to do. It's actually pretty easy. And even if they don't hit 500, you can kind of see like, okay, if they hit 240 points between 240 to 360, they're still going to pay less. So even if they're doing very little, they're still going to have a discount and they're still getting crazy cheaper than they get anywhere else. And they do have, I will tell you, you can, if the policy is canceled, and this is something I always like to tell people, this has happened one time that I know of, that clients decided after a few months that they were like, don't want the policy after all, I'm going to cancel it. They are still liable for that payment program with Vitality. They cannot return the Apple Watch. They can return it within the 14 days, I think, of receiving it. So if they decided, hey, after all, I just want to get the Fitbit, they have 14 days to return that. That's outside of the free look of the policy itself, which is the 31 days, but they have 14 days on the Apple Watch specifically. That is an Apple requirement, not a John Hancock one. But I just want to make sure people know is like, hey, if you leave the program, you still have to pay, or you leave the policy rather, you are losing the ability to offset the cost of the device through activity. So they not only are they liable for that $15.50 per month for that full 24 months, they've also lost the ability to waive that payment entirely. So just things that are good to know and to make sure that you stay through with the client, because it's all stated in the language, but a lot of times I just like to make sure that people know that so that you can explain it. It also helps keep that policy in force, right? That can't hurt. But one of the best parts on the Apple Watch program here, Julia, this is going to be just for you. The Apple Watch program is perpetual. So once their 24 months is fulfilled, 2 years from now, when the Apple Watch 7 comes out, you can enter right back into that program. As long as you have the policy, you can go and go and go and go. It does have to be every 24 months. But you can pay that off early if they didn't want to. They certainly can, but hey, why would you? And you can get one for $25. That's it, and then never pay anything else. So that is the breakdown of the Apple Watch program. I will pause right here just to make sure. Does anybody have questions on this part so far? All right, we're good. Cool.
Hey,
Awesome.
Audrey.
You bet. Hi.
I took a screenshot of that, but is there a way for us to get us some type of document, so when we're going over that and explaining, how to get a free Apple Watch, like similar to this?
Yeah, and I will be happy to. I actually had a couple people ask for that and some cheat sheets for the sales concepts too. So I'm actually working on I can send you my slides even. I have no problem sharing those. But if it's even helpful, I was going to try to make some kind of leave behind materials, make sure that they're compliant, of course, and then send them off to you. There are a few pieces on the Apple Watch program. Let me see if I can get something that's already pre-built so you're not waiting on me, but I'm happy to send you my slides because those have already been approved by compliance.
That would be perfect. Yeah, you could email them to Lori, and then she could turn around and get them to all of us. But, you know, because I would love to get set up in the gym, you know, offering free Apple Watches and stuff. I think it's an excellent way to get out there. So I think it would be perfect if we had something that is compliant that we can use to spark that conversation, you know.
You're exactly right. And I will say that there is a kind of a hole in the leave behind category of the marketing that you guys have been provided with. That's I had meetings with the marketing department every day this week. So everything that you see here, we're actually working on making some materials and stands in the gym. That's another big thing that I've just there needs to be something that you can easily prop, whether it's putting it into a frame, even if it's just a printable for now until we can have a facility to have you order those materials in a printed form. I'm working on developing those with them so that you guys have something to put out as a display or a stand or something for you. But I'll get those to Lori, absolutely. All right. Very cool. Okay. So next part. This is my favorite part. Okay. So you guys are busy guys and gals, and everything that we talked about, all of these discounts and rewards, I mean, I wouldn't expect you to remember. It took me months to get all of this stuff down. So you don't have the time or energy to become some kind of vitality expert, but the great news is that you don't have to be one. So we gone out, hired those people, a whole team set up just for vitality clients, and their whole job all day long is to pick up the phone, guide clients through setting up their Apple Watch, connecting it to their phone, all of this like initial setup for anybody that's kind of struggling, figuring out how to submit activities. I mean, you name it. And so they have all of that stuff covered so that you don't have to. The last thing I would want for any of you is to have to be on the phone trying to play IT tech support when you're trying to get out and make client calls. Not what you signed up for. Don't worry, you don't have to. So the best part about this, though, is this team is trained to not just answer these questions, but to also say, hey, you know what? I don't see that you've signed up for the Healthy Foods program yet. You know, can I help walk you through that? Did you know that, you know, you had this gift card? Did you see this? You know, all of these different programs and things that, again, not your job to fill it every discount that they could possibly get. They are there to provide that service to the client for you. So you guys can be out doing your thing and you're leaving them in the hands of people who do this all day long. So they don't have to just do this on initial setup. They can call up this team anytime. So when they have a flu shot and they're like, hey, I need some help walking through, they can say, hey, no problem. Let me get you over to the Vitality team. That's the most you have to do. This is another one of the leave behinds that I am working on. But again, will be great to have a slide for you for this. In the meantime, this Vitality team, their number's down here, and they will be able to call them up anytime they want and take care of them. And you are more than welcome also to call them on the client's behalf and get those questions answered, of course. But again, you know, I know how difficult it is trying to help my grandma reset her email, and when she gets locked out of her bank account, I do it, and I know it can be really hard. So, yeah, don't want that for you. So let's see, Steve had a question. Is there available insurance? I believe, Steve, that it is the standard Apple insurance, but I'm writing this down. Let me check on you. It won't be directly through Vitality, but it would be through Apple, but I'm gonna check in on insurance for you. Own it. All right. So this next part, so going through why you care, right? Well, they get discounts. Yes, that's fine. But what does it actually do for me? Why do I care if they have a Vitality policy versus something else? So my easy answer is just this whole concept of client engagement, because every time that they're going to be looking down at their Apple Watch or they get a new $20 gift card, then they get an email about reward notification, whatever it is. They're just getting more and more sort of immersed in this vitality program, and they're thinking about you every time, right? So the next benefit to that, the more that they're engaged in this program, brings about the best benefit for you guys, which is higher policy persistency. I mean, there's data on this over on, this is a newer product on this side, but there's a lot of data to support this over on the other products that are fully underwritten that have been with this program for some time. It's just the persistency is dramatically higher because they have a reason for sticking around and keeping this policy. It's a no-brainer. They're keeping their attention, making them want to keep their policy in all of these different ways, whether it's daily, because I always forget to get all my groceries. So they're getting discounts regularly via that healthy foods benefit, every 10, I say every 10 days, it's actually every 10 workouts. So if they are getting enough steps to what qualifies as a workout, quote unquote, they can get up to every 10 days, they can get a gift card. The gift card increments can be anywhere between $5, $10, $15, and $20 and $50. So they can get up to $50 just for going on walks. I mean, it's just crazy. They're also in those Vitality Wheel, or they're called Vitality Wheel and Vitality Squares. There's a couple different games that they get. They can get points that go towards their vitality status for their cash back, or they can get these reward gift cards. So it just depends on what they hit. So they get it a bunch of different ways, like monthly. If they have the Apple Watch program, huge incentive to keep it around at least for 24 months, if they don't ever want to pay anything. And then again, if they want to, that's another way to just help keep them beyond that time period. Tell them that you guys can keep going and get another Apple Watch in a couple of years. And, on a yearly basis, they're getting the top tier, want to keep the cash back coming in. And then for 3 years of platinum status, so if they achieve that for 3 years in a row, they get an Amazon Prime membership. So whether they have a membership or not already, because I'm an Amazon Prime member, a lot of us are, they can actually just plug in a discount code into the Amazon app, and then it will actually offset the cost of the enrollment fee. So it'll, no matter whether they have one or not, they're going to be able to benefit from it regardless, which is cool. So it just makes for happy clients, ones that are sticky, right? And they are more likely to tell everybody that they know about that they have the coolest insurance. Whoever could say that life insurance is cool, but it kind of is, right? But it definitely is people talking, referrals. And this is another point I want to touch on. We actually talked in this exact same slideshow last week, which is just looking at all of these cashback rewards and that they can actually offset and double. They can actually make money off of this thing, which is a little bananas, but you can see here, even taking out taking out the Amazon Prime membership, I'm lowballing on a lot of these, the Vitality Wheel gift cards, for example. They can earn way more than that, but I'm just throwing in something, as trying to lowball it. But either way, this is like a $250,000 age 50, 20-year term. So it's the highest available right now. And it doubles with rewards, what they're getting back, depending on their engagement level, which is, crazy. So, but this whole next part is about where to find these people, right? So the whole point of this section, like I said, is to kind of get outside of the whole millennial or gym membership, which, there's a great piece on the gym membership. That's always a great place to go. But outside of that, let's think of clients that kind of fit outside that box. So the highest level of engagement and rewards are going to come to people who are on their feet a lot. So these people are walking all over the place anyway. Like I said, there's nothing that says they have to do an aerobic workout. Yeah, that gets higher points. But, walking, being on their feet, hitting a certain step, they're not modifying their behavior at all. And their steps are going to get them the highest level of rewards without doing anything different. So, like I said, factory or plant employees, anybody who's in retail, pharmacists, nurses, paramedics, anybody, any teacher, is a great one. and even people who are in the restaurant industry. Like they're just, and because it's such a low cost policy to begin with, even without all of the rewards, you know, it's really just it's a great talking point for those folks. Now, I love the concept of setting up in a gym, but I always like to talk to people about taking it a little bit next level and helping some of that work for you beyond having to be there physically in the gym all the time. So, and this has worked. This is actually something that I have had talked to several agents about over the last few months, and they are doing this. So, you know, go into the leadership there, the management, and talk to them about saying, hey, can I come in and talk in a staff meeting and, you know, try to sell policies to the trainers, to the people at front desk, anybody who's working there, because they are going to also be on their feet all day for one, and they're going to be able to do some of those referrals for you. So if you are talking to somebody and they say, hey, who's that guy over at the front desk? What's that all about? They might have a Fitbit on or have an Apple Watch and be like, oh yeah, let me tell you. They'll be able to refer and sort of validate some of that on your behalf. And this, I don't even have this one on here, but this just happened a couple of days ago. This agent went in there, talked to the owner of the gym, and he sold him a policy. He's such a believer that he said, hey, I have on my treadmills, there's like, there are TVs and there's advertising on there. Can you get me something that I can put on there for advertising? So they'd reach out to me saying, you know, hey, I need some materials. We're working on getting something like that right now, some digital advertising that has your branding on it that you'll be able to have while somebody's running. I mean, what better way to just have that in your absence? And then on top of that, ask to be included in their newsletters, their email blasts, just be there as a blurb, as a partner to help in healthy living. And, you know, keep in mind all of those discounts on the healthy groceries and even on the meditation apps that you're getting that's like $100 and something for a Headspace membership. So really, really fun ideas, but I am all about that referral life because, you know, you can't be anywhere, anytime. Yeah, you want to have this engine working when you're not around because, you know, you work too hard. That's it. Let's make it work less and make it fun. All right. And so the next one is clients who are trying to improve their lifestyle, because this was my number one objection when I first started talking to people in March about the product and saying, you know, I work with a lot of sick people, you know, I don't know. Now, listen, we talked about last week about how the underwriting is pretty liberal, honestly. And my first thought is, like, I think this policy is exactly for those people. Who better is going to benefit from this? Because chances are, if you're looking at them and thinking, yikes, you know, they need to get a little more active, chances are their doctors had that conversation with them too, right? So this is exactly for those people. Now, if they get this policy and it works out, then they're just paying less for the groceries that they were already going to have to buy. They're getting incentivized to getting rewards for, you know, going on walks. And you guys can talk to them about what we just said, which is, listen, we're not talking about you having to go into the gym and, you know, work on these high intensity workouts. Go for a walk and you're going to be getting cash back and you're going to getting, you know, all of these things will play together. And that is the whole point. That's why the underwriting engine was built to be as liberal as it was, is because that is the real target, is to try to help people prolong their life. So just another angle to think about. Clients who have families who are young children or grandchildren. So, you know, I think the families one pretty much speaks for itself. Yes, I know I'm running after my kids all the time, but I always like to think about this grandparents demographic. And we talked a little bit earlier about how those workouts, Vitality program is adaptable to their age range and to what is considered a high-end or advanced workout, what's considered a standard workout. It adapts to them. But I think that what's really important here is when you have those conversations with people, you know, like I said, when you're talking to a 30-year-old and you talk about what are the things that are the most important to you, you ask that question to somebody who's, 50 and above, how many of them are saying that, being healthy and taking care of themselves is one of their top priorities? I mean, it's going to be all of them, because they're kind of at that age where they have to start taking care of themselves. And that is exactly what this is targeted to do. So, and I, again, with the objection that I've heard, which is, hey, but they're a little less tech savvy than this generation. So it's just, I don't want to overwhelm them. I mean, that's why the Vitality team is there. Y'all don't stress. That's why they're there. That's all you have to do is refer them over to people who do this all day long. So that is, I will say though, even with the engagement and when data that we have, there are just as many folks, who had been in the Vitality program for as long as it's been around. There are 80-year-olds in the Vitality program. So not on this product, obviously. I know that the issue age is only 60, but it is something that is very engaged regardless of age. So next one, clients who are wanting the return of premium benefits, but those are expensive. Can't afford it, get it. The policy can really help pay for itself with the rewards and cashback that they get anyway. So they're getting some of that annual return of premium benefit without having to pay a lot for it. So sometimes pay anything for it, depending on how much they use. So it's just something to think about. And then this is the big time no-brainer, which is the word of mouth referrals, because again, what I always like to stress, you guys know now, you guys have this exclusive access, be it to this product. There's only a couple other agencies out of the 400 agencies in the world that have, or just in America, that have access to this product. So they can't turn around and just go somewhere else and get it. And a little bit more to expand on that, they're going to be talking about, like, where'd you get that Apple Watch? Like, what do you mean you got a gift card? Oh, yeah. I mean, make sure that your information is in their phone, easily shareable with everybody they know, because they have to come back through you, seriously. And I get this a lot, and I know that your guys' contract only covers the simple term product until we add to this portfolio here, but I did a little bit more digging about, because yes, there is a Vitality program on the fully underwritten product. So, somebody's like, well, what if they found somebody who has the other John Hancock Vitality, since all the products have that? It's not the same Vitality program. So over on those other products, yes, there is Vitality, but they actually have to pay extra to get rewards that come standard and free just from this product alone, and there is no cashback benefit. So this Vitality program is tailored and very specific, and no, they can't get it from anywhere else. They can maybe get a version that is not nearly as good, honestly, as the one that you guys have here. So, and there's things like the cashback that you cannot get on other products, period. So you really do have the exclusivity on that. All right. My favorite part, let's talk about how to plug this into everything that you do all day long. So how do we take all this and, while I'm sitting at the table, figure out how to sell this thing? So their why. This one is really, really easy. This is sort of the foundation of every presentation when you sit down with somebody. Why am I here to begin with? And, yes, you're here because they love somebody. They want to provide a death benefit. They want to protect them in case they get sick or in case they die. They want to make sure they do that. But this is the only type of policy that's going to actually try to prolong their life and try to keep them here for longer, or prevent them from having to use some of those illness riders. Some of that's not preventable. I get it, but it really is the only product that's working it's like a life benefit while they're actually living. So that is one that I think is a really, really easy sell. ROP versus term. So I've seen this presentation from some groups before. They present when they're kind of showing these options. ROP is the best option, term is the cheap option. This actually kind of stands out in its own little world as being the best of both, because you are getting some of that cash back annually, and it's pretty cheap. It really is very, very competitive, especially with everything that they get back. And even if I had somebody yesterday who was taking, there are some other products that are slightly cheaper when we were doing some pricing comparison, but when you take the cash back that they get, it actually was a little bit less. So depending on you present it, yes, that little bit of 15% is variable upon their activity, but when you flush it out like that, it's another way to present it. It was one I didn't even come up with. She had thought of it, and I thought it was really interesting. And then the next one, this one is actually one of my favorites. So talking about that critical period concept, we talked about this one a little bit last week, but I love the idea that instead of presenting to somebody saying how much you can get them, like I can get you this much money, that you're giving them time. And that time period, let's say you're doing a permanent policy that's going to give them $800 a month for 18 months for their mortgage to be covered for that period of time. Well, there's other expenses outside of that, right? So they have their light bill and they have groceries and they have all of that. So a great supplement to that product, to that pitch or to that sale is like, listen, here's a really low cost product, it's going to work on you, keeping you healthy and things like that. And, when you flush out the numbers, you're not really paying much, if anything, for it. And it will give you 18 months more of, let's say, expenses for everything else outside of that. So, I mean, like I said, I know this business is like all about beating out the other guy. I really think that we play nice. This is a nice product that supplements pretty much any pitch that you're doing out there. And so I just, I love the idea that for very, very little, you can give somebody more time and it will help keep them around longer. And then my other one, which is like positioning as the living benefit concept and like positioning it as the other living benefit, because a lot of presentations, depending on who you're talking to, is like, okay, yes, we have your death benefit, but we're going to cover you in the event that you get hurt or sick or, whatever the case may be. Here's the fourth living benefit in our loaded plan that covers you while you're alive. So it's one of those things that it's just a nice, like I said, nice supplement to anything that you might be doing, especially when you're considering like putting something together as this nice loaded plan and working on multiple policies and trying to do that. So it works really well there. So that is all that I had for you guys today. I hope some of this was helpful. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys for the last 3 weeks. I am here to help with any of those concepts and help think of different ways. And so, I mean, every time I hear you guys talking about like, debt-free life or the Smart Start program or anything else, I mean, I'm always trying to help you guys find new and interesting ways to sell. Like I said, that play nice with others or works as a standalone. So reach out to me. I am here for any feedback, any trouble you run into. I want to know it all. And we are working for you and with you on anything that you need. And if you have any questions.
That's awesome. And I think what we're going to do, we're coming up on the top of the hour. Guys, on the screen here, you've got the contact for Audrey. Make sure you screenshot that and reach out to her. This product, going through this last week and then again today, I'm actually getting very excited about this because, this is one, this fits in perfectly with how we started a call today, the opportunity to generate leads. And I love, Audrey, what you shared with us, those occupations, if you think about people who are on it, this is a perfect approach product. And, really the value here, I just ran a quick quote and just, for those of us on the call, especially if you don't have a sense of pricing, you're still new at this. Ran a quote on myself, and I just ran it from the max, 250,000, 20-year term, 43-year-old male. And I realize I look 33. Thank you all for going ahead and giving me those compliments. But no, I am 43. So my price is
more
95.
Like
what was that?
More like 63 minutes.
Hey, whoa. Somebody mute his line. My price was $95.71 a month. And that's before the discounts and then all the other benefits. So just as a price comparison, I ran a quick quote on one of our other primary carriers. It was $99 a month for the same coverage. And I don't have all these other advantages. So guys, now having said that, one of the things that we have to be really, really cautious about, I tell you, I talked on blue in the face, but we cannot sell on price alone, guys. In fact, I would rather we don't sell on price. Value is where sales are made. And this is a high value proposition. I mean, this thing is loaded with value. And there's a saying in sales, and it is very true. Price is only a concern in the lack of value. And so, you see several of the top performers on this team, a lot of times will sell products that we know if we went out and priced it, we could probably find cheaper coverage. But that's not where sales are made. If you sell on price, you're going to get shot down on price all the time. But the beautiful thing about this is very competitive, and this product offers so much value that, and this is a perfect approach product. So what we're going to be doing, and Audrey, thank you for sharing those occupations that we can go out, because we're actually going to be putting a contest together. And I don't have all the details. I just thought of this as we were going through it, as I saw that occupations page. We're going to be putting a contest together for those of you who take the initiative, go out, generate some sales and some leads on your own, go out and talk to some small businesses. We've got a very significant, and when I say significant, I'm talking about, I'm going to be doing $250 lead credit per account that you set up. And I'll get the details out to you. But I'm going to make it very significant. If you go out and talk to some businesses and you get an opportunity to get in there and present this program, guys, I can tell you for a fact, right now, as tight as the job market is, employers are looking for ways to keep their employees happy and keep them there. This is a program that they would love and fall all over themselves to get, to offer their employees a $25 Apple Watch or free Fitbit, plus Amazon gift cards, plus the cash back. I mean, this is tailor made for a small business that doesn't have the finances to put a benefits package in place. And we should be out, we're out every day running our leads and having appointments. We've got time in between, the calls. And, the appointments we're running, the calls that we're making, and we need to be walking in to businesses and asking for business based on this program. Think about walking into a small business owner and say, hey, would you like me to help you set up a program that would give all your employees a $25 Apple Watch or a free Fitbit? Guys, that's stupid easy. We can all do that. Okay, so I'm working on the details right now. I'm kind of making some notes. We're gonna, we got to make sure it makes sense. But I want you guys out giving this program some real serious consideration, and let's generate some business off of this program, guys. So, Audrey, thank you so much for really spending some time with us and really getting us up to speed on this program. I think it's a phenomenal.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal opportunity, and really excited about what doors this is going to open for us. So
I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay. Well, let me know anything you guys need. I honestly, good, bad, or ugly, I am here to help with anything. Don't suffer in silence. Come let me know. That's what I do all day.
Yeah. And again, obviously, she's been very generous sharing her direct contact information. We're getting ready to shut down the call, but before we shut it down, make sure you take a screenshot, take a picture of your phone, type it in your phone, whatever you got to do. Get Audrey's information, reach out to her, ask questions. I mean, she's obviously spent some time thinking about how to position this product. And so if you're wanting to know how to operate this in your, in your day-to-day, guys, take advantage of this and make sure that take advantage of Audrey too and her thought process on this, because she spent the time on this product. So, all right, guys, thank you for everybody for being.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Audrey, again. And let's go out. Let's set up a big week next week. Plug this product into your marketing activities, and let's make some things happen, guys. Everyone have a great week. Thank you.